go from doing pretty good to not doing good at all, and it's a big change for my family. In 2019, the whole year I was a dog groomer, in-home dog groomer. I went to senior citizens' homes and groomed dogs at their house. Well, when the pandemic hit in 2020, I lost all my good income. My landlord was trying to work with me, but it had come too far. So in May, when we fell into gap, when they stopped doing the eviction protection, we fell in that little gap, so we got evicted and we had to move out. So I mean, you have some people look at you like you're just a bum, and people just don't know the situation at the time that you once lived in a good house, had a good car, had a good paying job, and now you have none of it. So you have to restart all over. It's kind of, we lost everything. We came here with 2 big suitcases. We take our personal belongings that we needed, special toys, clothes, and pictures, and came on to the hotel. So we moved here because it was the cheapest place we could find that we could afford if something was to happen and we needed scrounged up money. And with this being the capital of North Carolina, you would think they would have more services to help people. They don't. 211 couldn't. I called 211 and they couldn't find me any kind of organization that could help pay for a hotel. I had to call a bunch of different places to finally find somebody that could help me get into the 2 programs, and it took me about 3 months. It's really hard not knowing if we're gonna have a place to stay tomorrow. Just living day by day, really. Especially when I got 2 beautiful kids that don't deserve it. My family's really close anyway. It's me, John, Madison, and Ethan. There's 4 of us, and Ethan's autistic. John just started getting new medicine because he don't sleep at night. He's disabled. Well, he's going through disability. It ain't the best hotel in the world because you have to worry about... Sorry. You have to worry about a lot of stuff, and 2 people get shot since we've been here. Not a good place to have kids anyway. And then when we first moved here, I had a car. And about a month after being here, my car overheated. So it was going to cost me about $2,000 to get that fixed. So it was either have a place to stay or get a car fixed. So I sold the car to a junkyard. So we ended up leaving all our stuff at the house because I figured I couldn't afford to pay for a storage unit every month. The closest one to our house was $125, I think, a month for the amount of stuff we had to pay for it every month and have to worry about hotel. So I figured it was just items. We could get rid of them and it'd be fine. We had a church help with some clothes, buy them new shoes and stuff like that because I didn't have the extra money. Ethan, we have to be really careful with him because he's a flight risk. He likes to run, and it's hard to take him anywhere because he don't like wearing a mask. He don't understand the concept of having to wear a mask because he's autistic and has an intellectual disability on top of it. So where he's 9, he's only probably at the rate of 4-year-old. So he's still fully in pull-ups and it's hands-on with him all the time. School is an adjustment. They're in virtual learning. Ethan only goes on twice a day. It takes both me and John to sit down on each side of him to keep him still. Maddie, she does pretty good by herself, but sometimes she'll have to pretty much get up and go to the bathroom if her brother gets too loud. So sometimes she has to go to the bathroom and shut the door so she could hear her teacher. The school provided us with 2 Chromebooks and a Wi-Fi router. We're making it with school. It's an adjustment. We get along for a good part of it, but there's some days we have where we're all on each other's nerves. You have no privacy. And Ethan's autistic, so a lot of times he's really high strung, so he runs back and forth in the room. So after being trapped in that one room for a long period of time, kind of makes people on edge. We have our good days, and then after a while, sometimes we get aggravated with each other. So, because I mean, you got 2 beds, no couch, you got TV, you don't have the thing of having a house, a home, where you have separate rooms and you can get away from each other and have quiet time or peaceful time. Right now, we pay over $1,000 a month to stay in the hotel. It's $315 a week. So, it makes it really difficult to live or do anything else. Yes, I've got assistance from 2 different agencies, with Passage Homes, one of them. They helped me for about 2 months. And now I have been with Triangle Family Services, and they have helped me with 4 weeks, and this is my last week with them. So then after that, I have to figure it out. And then sometimes I have to go out and panhandle. I mean, it sucks. I hate asking people for help. So, we have to do what we have to do. See, we lived in the country. We didn't live near nothing. Our next closest neighbor was a mile away. We've always lived in the country, so this is a big change, but we figured being here, we have more access to things if we needed it. There wasn't no help out there, and my mother, she stays kind of like in an assisted living home, so we couldn't go stay with her, and that's the only family I have. John don't have any family. It's hard when you don't have nobody else to help you or go to when you need something. So I'm pretty much the main take care of everybody right now, and it puts a lot on me. I have food stamps, and we do get food from Passage Homes through food banks. We have a skillet now. We have a microwave, so I mean, you don't get to cook like you want to. Try to make hamburgers and cook chicken in the oven. I was hoping that I could have got unemployment, but North Carolina has a law that I didn't qualify for, the pandemic unemployment, so I got denied because I was a self-employed dog groomer. But when I do file taxes this year, I get tax credit for Ethan and Maddie, so that helps me a whole lot. So I was hoping to find a cheap car and be able to move out, because Triangle Family Services also is going to help me put a first month's rent and deposit down somewhere. But that's the thing, I'm having issues finding somewhere around in Raleigh that's affordable. Everything has been $850 and above, and I know as a person that has to do all the work, pretty much, I can't afford that. We will be so much in a better state once we can get something cheap that we can afford to rent and pay for the light bill. It'll be a lot cheaper than being here. And yeah, I'm pretty much waiting on taxes. Taxes go in on February 15th, so it'll probably be like the first week in March. At least another month and 2 weeks to deal with this. Because I've never lived in an apartment. We've always lived in the country, and most of the time it's been a single wide or a little bitty house. So, yeah, I never had to apply for an apartment before. Some of these low income houses, I went and paid for an application fee and everything. So each application fee I have to pay is per adult. If it's $150, it'd be $150 for me and $150 for John. I've done that twice now. I paid $100 and we got told that it was 6 months before they'd have an apartment open. And they didn't tell me that at the beginning. And then I had applied for another place, and we got denied because our income wasn't 3 times the amount of the apartment. That's their money making. That's how they make a lot of money. If you don't know, you know, you got to ask them what the qualifications are to get the apartment, if they have one available, when will it be available. You got to ask all kinds of questions, and I didn't know nothing about it because I've never lived in an apartment. You know, I have my days where I don't even feel like getting out of bed, but I look at them and it makes me happy.